I do believe that in this time when resources are scarce and needs are really high, I think multilateralism is relevant, and to remain relevant, I think we have to, I would say, improve or better ourselves or change ourselves as times change.
Anshula, thank you very much indeed for joining us in the studio in London today. We have the World Bank and IMF meetings coming up in October. The political climate that we're in at the moment on the sort of geopolitical level, we don't need to go into detail, but I mean, one could say that it's quite a volatile climate in terms of the whole cause of multilateralism, full stop, whether that's in development, whether that's finance, whether that's politics. I mean, going into the meetings, are you sort of still confident in the multilateral cause, as it were, and that multilateralism is holding? Or are there concerns that we may be entering into a more sort of fractured and disparate world, as it were, when you have kind of different poles of interest?
You know, development needs are enormous. I think we all know that, John, you accept that. And what has become very clear is that individual governments in developing countries really cannot do this on their own. Many of our client countries have stretched budgets, they have high debt levels. And even if you look at our largest shareholders, the donors that we have, particularly for IDA countries, they have competing demands on their budgets. So the beauty of the World Bank Group is our ability to multiply that $1 of contribution many times over. So this ability to multiply that $1 and make it go as far as it can, or much further than a direct one bilateral dollar would go to that country, I think this is very valuable for our shareholders and our client countries both. So I do believe that in this time when resources are scarce and needs are really high, I think multilateralism is relevant. And to remain relevant, I think we have to, I would say, improve or better ourselves or change ourselves as times change. So, within the bank, we have been trying to become much more efficient than we used to be. That includes on the balance sheet. So I'm a finance person, so I can say today from the same sources, same resources, we are trying to do is make that $1 go much further than it used to. So by bringing more efficiency in our balance sheet. So through some innovative products and shareholder contribution, but largely through balance sheet optimization, we have been able to increase IBRD resources by 100 billion over the next 10 years. We had a good IDA replenishment last year. I think it was a very successful IDA replenishment. IDA 2021, we mobilized $24 billion from our shareholders, which translates into 100 billion of resources for our client countries. But aside from this, what we can do with our own balance sheet, it is not going to be nearly enough. So what our big focus today is to how we can mobilize private capital. There are this, we hear about the trillions of dollars that are sitting with institutional investors in New York and London. We want it to travel to the emerging markets, and that's where our focus is now.
Energy has really been at the sort of forefront of the World Bank's mission in so many ways kind of over the past years. Well, there's always discussion about the energy mix. I mean, there's been a sort of strong emphasis on renewable energy in recent years and electrification, such as the project which is going on in Africa. Can you tell us about the energy mix? There is discussion about which energies kind of fit into this mix, and I mean the World Bank's attitude going forward to such projects.
I'm glad you asked that question, John, because this is one of our flagship programs. We are calling it Mission 300. If you are aware, there are 700 million people or more than that in Africa today who don't have access to any energy. So, it's futile to talk about growth and development with no access to energy. You can't have health, you can't have education, you can't have industry, businesses, digital without energy. So we have committed together with African Development Bank, who is a partner with us in this, to give access to 300 million people in Africa to energy by 2030. And within this, we are working with our client countries in Africa. We are working with a lot of private sector partners too, because, this requires so much resources that we can't do this alone. We just finished, in fact, a conversation with these countries. It's been an ongoing process. Access to energy requires more than financial investment. It requires policies, regulations. So 17 countries have actually committed to put in place the frameworks and policies that are necessary for this to happen. Now, clearly, our focus is on renewable energy, solar, wind, hydro, geothermal in Africa is it's available in many countries, the potential. And then, basically what we are trying to do is we are trying to put the countries in the driver's seat. What is their national context? What are the resources they have available? What are their nationally determined contributions, and what is it that they aspire in terms of providing? Electricity is not, just one light switch. It has to be affordable, it has to be steady, it has to be predictable. It has to improve people's quality of life. So the other sources of energy which provide adequate base load could be natural gas. And World Bank has a policy that in areas where that is the best, lowest cost solution, we would support countries if they aspire to natural gas in midstream and downstream activities. So that has not changed. In fact, that commitment was there and it remains. What is new for us is we are trying to now also see whether nuclear energy can be an option for some of these countries. So, we have been out of this space for many years. So, we are now sort of working with IEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, to, what should I say, equip ourselves to advise our client countries, if they so desire, on the safeguards, safety, security measures that they may need, and, any knowledge-based work, that advice that they may need.